Now this fifth part is very important. These are the non-holiday things that I did whilst I was back in the Philippines. The first thing I did was to open a new Philippine bank account, and that's why I told you to bring an additional 2 government-issued Philippine ID. So why am I opening another bank account if I already have one? So first reason is to establish a relationship with a new bank. In the future, if I wanted to apply for a bank loan for a house or a house renovation, you need to have at least a minimum of 6 months relationship with the bank. Same goes for opening a checking account. So why am I talking about checking account? If you are going to start an investment on, say, a condominium or a house from a developer, the most recent update is that majority of developers now no longer accept cash deposits, but rather they require you to have post-dated checks. And if you need to get a checking account or open a checking account, you need again a minimum of 6 months relationship with your bank. I know somebody who is here in the UK who doesn't have a Philippine bank account anymore, and that for me is a wrong decision. So if you're one of those persons who doesn't have a Philippine bank account anymore, then please, the next time you go to the Philippines, open 1 or even 2 if possible. Once you open these accounts, first, when the rates are very high for the pera padala or money remittance, then you can do a big lump sum of transfer into that Philippine account. Then from that Philippine bank account, then you can do your monthly transfer to your parents or to your children or to your relative, whoever you're sending money to. Okay, so that's my technique, and I've been doing that since 2015. So make sure that the bank you open an account with is the same as that person you are sending money to, so that you can just do it easily online without needing to go anywhere, without needing to provide any documents. You just transfer online. Majority, if not all, already have this facility. Third reason for opening more than one Philippine bank account is the risk of any problems with the bank. For PDIC, you are only insured 500,000 pesos per account. So if your money exceeds that, if the bank closes, even if you've got, say, 800,000 pesos in your account, you will only get back 500,000. Fourth reason why you should open more than one Philippine bank account is if you were to buy a property. So I learned this the hard way. Whilst I was in the Philippines, there was this house that was on sale, and if you really consider it, it is actually a bargain. And they were selling it because they were all migrating to Canada. I wanted to put down a deposit on it, but I didn't have the money in my Philippine bank account at that time. And if I was to, say, do the maximum amount of transfer from pounds to UK every single day, it would take a lot of time before I reach the required amount. So best advice is every time you get a very good rate, transfer it to that bank account, and once you reach 500,000, use the other or the next Philippine bank account. So you have several accounts containing a maximum of 500,000 pesos. And when that time comes, when you find the right property and you want to put down a deposit on it, okay, and then you apply for a loan from PagIBIG or a bank, then you have the money, the Philippine peso right then and there that you can show, that you can actually deposit to the seller, okay? You might need, it might not be a full cash deposit, you might get a manager's check as a proof that you have the money and that you are really serious about buying the property. By the way, if you open a checking account, most, if not all banks, will require you to have a specific reason why you need the checking account. So for me, I had to get a letter from the developer stating basically that I am starting an equity on a condominium. Okay, and you need that letter to that specific bank with a specific branch, and it needs to be given to them so that they allow you to open a checking account. There might be other smaller banks that allow you to have a checking account without this letter, but you need to have still a minimum of 6 months relationship with the bank. That's either through a current account or a savings account. Open your checking account first before you go to trips or do touristy stuff, because it will take 2 weeks minimum for you to get your debit card, if there is a connected debit card, and the checkbook with your name on it. If you apply to BPI, you will have, on the day that you apply, a checkbook without your name on it, but that those numbers on the check are registered to your name, so you can immediately have one checkbook. But if you need more, you can request on the same day, but you will only get that checkbook with your name after 2 or 3 weeks. The third thing I did is renew my PRC ID. This in itself is a big and different topic, and I've got a funny experience with this, so I will do a different video for that. So make sure you subscribe and keep an eye out for that video. So the fourth non-holiday stuff that I did whilst I was in the Philippines was to sort out some funeral plans. I know some of you will be gobsmacked, will be like, what are you talking about? Why are you doing funeral plans and all that? Okay, so this is a reality, guys. You don't know what will happen at any time. Same as you didn't know about the pandemic when a lot of people died, but if you have the capacity to start some funeral plans, for yourself, for your elderly parents, even for your brothers and sisters, it would really be helpful and cost effective to have your funeral plans early. So I've got a very close friend whose parent died, and because they didn't have a funeral plan, they spent more than 150,000, and that's just for the funeral. That doesn't include anything else. But if you had a funeral plan, if you look at those specific plans, you would only have spent around 60, even 70,000, and that already includes everything from your coffin to memorial service and the retrieval of body from hospital. And the nice thing about certain funeral plans, so make sure you read the terms, is that some companies also include a life insurance. So besides the funeral services that you get, whoever is the beneficiary will also get a certain amount that they can use, of course, to sort out other things and perhaps to help them slowly cope with what happened. And with this, you have options: monthly, quarterly, or even a yearly payment option, depending on what you're comfortable with or how much you can afford. Basically, if that person insured dies, there's no need to pay up the full amount. You get the full services and you get the life insurance benefit. Okay? So it is really super cost effective, super helpful, and it just gives peace of mind to everyone, including yourself, especially if you're the one who's responsible of finances. So I also visited my grandfather's tomb, and during that visit in the cemetery, me and my aunt were talking about it, and then we decided, you know what, let's have a look what plans they have in terms of the memorial lot and if we can afford it. Again, another funny experience which I will share in a different video. If you think you can afford it, then take the chance and start paying equity for the memorial lot as well. It is not as expensive as condominiums, okay? And to be quite frank with you, 1 or 2 months you can pay the whole thing off with your UK salary, but that is not a wise thing to do because you can use that money for something else, for investments and stuff. Go for the monthly plan if there is no interest, so there's no difference in the total amount if you are paying it monthly or yearly or the whole 5 years worth paying it in one go, then take the monthly option. Okay? The fifth non-holiday stuff that I did in the Philippines is to update my PagIBIG membership. Before I went back to the Philippines, my real estate agent was actually showing me some nice house and lot properties that could be a good option for a family home. So I was thinking if I wanted one of those properties, obviously I can't afford to pay it in one go, and that wouldn't be a wise decision as well. So I would apply for a PagIBIG house loan. But when I did my research, actually I couldn't get a loan yet because my PagIBIG membership stopped when I left the Philippines. It wasn't continued. So that's something you might want to think about. So I went to PagIBIG myself and updated my membership. And from May 2023, I will be paying monthly again. So that when I do need to take a house loan, it wouldn't be very hard for me to do that. If you have stopped your PagIBIG membership or you are not a member at all, then you need to get on this. This is the most cost-effective option for house loans. I feel like I've gone on for too long now, so I'm just gonna stop right here. Those are the important things that I wanted to tell you guys if you are going to the Philippines soon. I know this does not cover everything, so if you have any further question, since I've been there recently, I might be able to answer your questions, so make sure you write them in the comment section and I will do my best to answer those. And after this, please prepare yourself for an influx of Philippine travel videos coming soon. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, then feel free to subscribe and follow me on all my social media channels. Stay kind and I hope you all have a good week. This is Jake signing off. Bye!